Hello, I'm Rob, and you're watching session 2 of Root the RPG. Uh, it's a tabletop role-playing game based on Root, Game of Woodland, Might and Right, which is about conflict and power featuring struggles between cats, birds, mice, rabbits, foxes, and more. The players will be playing as vagabonds within the setting. They're denizens of the woodland who've been cast out of civilized society for one reason or another. And they're going to be taking on jobs and tipping the scales one way or the other in the conflict between the two factions are at war, which is the Irie dynasties and the Marquisate. So this game is being run as part of the Gauntlet Hangouts. The Gauntlet is an online role-playing community with members from across the world. We have forums, which you can access through the main website at gauntlet-rpg.com. We also have a podcast network with shows such as the Gauntlet podcast, where they discuss the different games that they've been playing and things that they liked about those games, and discuss new games that are coming out. They have Plus One Forward, which is very much about Powered by the Apocalypse games, talking to the designers and testing it out on there, and other podcasts besides that. We also have the Codex e-zine with materials for materials to add to role-playing games that exist, or also hacks of games or mini RPGs that you can try out. And then there's the Gauntlet Hangouts, which is how this game was organized. So I'm Rob. My preferred pronouns are he, him, and we're going to meet the players. And I'll hold off on introducing your characters for now. Just say your name, pronouns, and a little bit about yourself. Starting with Philip.
Hi, I'm Philip. My preferred pronouns are he, him. I'm a longtime gamer, relatively recently starting playing with the Gauntlet.
I'm Jeremiah, he, him pronouns, and I'm a composer, also pretty new to the Gauntlet. So,
yeah. Harry.
Hi, I'm Ari, pronouns he, him, and I've been with the Gauntlet for about a year plus.
And last but not least, Leandro.
Hi, I'm Leandro. I use he, him pronouns. And yeah, I've been playing for with the Gauntlet since July last year, and didn't start running games till December of last year. So, yeah, and running games for their upcoming big event, GauntletCon, which is next week. I'm totally not stressed about any of all that.
Oh, I forgot. I should have mentioned GauntletCon. Yeah. The details for GauntletCon, which is starting on the 24th, is it? I think it's Thursday through to Sunday. Yeah. So 24th of October. You can find details on the Gauntlet-RPG website about that. So before we get onto the game, we need to talk about the safety tools that we're going to be using. One safety tool that we have in play, we're using Lines and Veils, where we have a list of themes and subject matter the players might not want to deal with in the game. Lines are elements that will not happen in the game at all. And veils are things which might be implied or happen off screen but won't be shown explicitly. We also have the X card. So if something comes up during the game that that we don't foresee, it makes anyone uncomfortable in any way, they can veto that content by either signaling X with their arms or calling X card out loud. We'll pause the scene, and I might ask what content it is that they're X-carding if it's not clear, but I won't ask why it's being X-carded. We'll just rewind things a little bit and start over with the content removed. And finally, we've got the open door policy. So if for some reason people need to step away, if there's an emergency, they're not feeling well, or maybe they just need a quick break, they can let us know and we'll accommodate them. So, having said that, let's have everybody introduce their characters. I'll start the other way around. Leandro, tell us about Morning Song.
Yeah, Morning Song uses they, them pronouns. They use the Tinker playbook, which means they're good at making stuff and breaking stuff down. They are a hooded raven, nominally absurd with the Eerie dynasty, but really that's just because that's where they grew up from. They're quite talkative, greedy, arrogant, lazy. I think they managed to do absolutely nothing last session, which is amazing. And mostly kind of like presented comments about their compatriots. They're fabulous. Well, they think they're fabulous. So far, events have not transpired to prove them wrong. So we'll see today if such events would transpire.
So before we move on, tell us something interesting that happened regarding your character last week, or well, you kind of mentioned that you didn't do anything, but
that's the most interesting part. Is that like everyone else kind of took care of everything, and Morning Song spent most of it just commenting about Weevils, cheering their friends on, being a good sport. You know, clearly, you know, our band of adventurers would have gotten through if not for the moral support that was given by One Morning Song. Look, they wanted to study grain, all right? Instead, we went gallivanting off fighting bandits. As stealthy as we can, but that still happened. But at the end of the day, Weevils were kind of their thing. And we didn't go to the Weevils.
Okay. Harry?
Yep, I'm playing Bryn. Bryn is a muskrat ranger who has left his homeland and gone from place to place to escape the gaze of the, I forget the name of the faction, the cat faction. What are they called? The Marquisate. Yeah, the gaze of the Marquisate, and fell into scheming and trying to profit and things of that sort with his companions, Morning Song, Jeeb, and Oxley. And we just recently finished up a caper where we got a triple payment, not double, but triple.
All right. And Jeremiah?
I'm playing Oxley, a fast-talking thief who is a mouse, who has a problem with authority and is quite rebellious. I think the most interesting thing that Oxley did last session was like grabbing, I forgot his name, but there was a kind of a leader of a group.
Jasper.
Jasper, yeah. And Oxley snuck up and got Jasper out to the, kind of kidnapped Jasper. So that's Oxley.
All right. And Philip?
I'm playing Jeem. His pronouns are he, him. He's a slightly mysterious lizard warrior, which is not exactly common to the woodlands. He comes from an outside area that he's complained repeatedly about that he cannot go back to. He operates on a slightly different understanding of how things operate in the woodlands.
All right. So last we left off, you had just got that big payday for helping the Marquisette get their. Well, you helped the denizens of the clearing, Milltown, with their mercenary problem. You never quite found out who the mercenaries were working for, but it seems to be likely that it was the IRA, since they weren't happy about being turned over to the Marquisette. So there was talk of helping the town out with the remaining problem. You know, the grain. The grain that's infested with weevils, and maybe helping them improve their mill a bit. So, we just lost Harry. Okay, so he's back. Right. So what I'm going to have you guys do is I'm going to ask, and you don't have to do anything to help with the remaining problems if you don't want to. But if you do, I have a move for you to use, which I will copy and paste here.
This is a custom move you've written?
Yep.
Nice.
Okay. What's this? Oh, right, it doesn't support that. Okay. I'm having to type this in one bit at a time so that it makes sense.
Sure. I just attempted to log in and it booted me off. So I won't be able to change the name that's showing up here.
Okay, that's the entire move there, and I will read it out for the people who are watching, just so that you know what you're looking at. So, say what you do to help the folk of Milltown, and roll plus stat. That can be whatever stat makes sense for your choice of help to see how your efforts went. On a 10 plus, you gain +1 prestige with the denizens, and you may you choose two. You may choose the same option twice. On a 7 to 9, you only choose one, and the two options are gain +1 decay and coin, or gain an additional +1 prestige. On a miss, your efforts do more harm than good. You say what went wrong, and you take +1 notoriety with the denizens faction for the mess you made. So, who's got something they want to do?
Can it be something large scale, like just taking care of the weevil problem?
Yeah. Just tell us how you're going about that, so we can.
I have a feeling I might not be the only one doing that, so I'm going to focus on an aspect of that, just in case someone else wants to work on that as well. I'm going to work on getting rid of the larva, the beetle larva, just wherever their hatcheries are and where their breeding grounds are. I'm going to go there and try to make it so that they're pushed back out into the woods. They don't. Next season there won't be a problem here.
Okay. So how do we think that translates to a stat?
Either cunning, maybe, or could be just legwork, like might, where I'm physically going out and digging things up and searching. Either of those would be okay for me.
I'll let you go with might, since that's your thing.
Okay. It's 2d6 plus 1. I'm not seeing any dice here. Is that right? This is cleared?
I can't see it because I am not logged in.
Fairly Blessed Bobcat. Is that the one we're using?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see any dice here, so I'm just going to pull up some new ones. And I got a double 6 plus 1.
Okay.
So I would like to take 1 prestige with this is the Woodland faction. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, plus with it doesn't on a 10 plus and choose 2. Yeah, cool. So I'll take 2 coin, 2 decay, and plus 1 prestige with the Woodland faction.
Okay. So mark that down in your notes.
Will do. Is this decay going in our group pool, or is this individual just for me?
So just mark it down as 2 coin, and 2 coin worth of decay on the
For myself. All right.
Yeah. So anybody else got something they want to do?
I'll jump in. James, because we kind of ran off the mercenaries, is convinced that there are probably still some out there. He currently also is not exactly the most well-liked with the denizens. So what he does is he operates a patrol on the outskirts of the current inhabited area, looking for nefarious people, and if he can find them, he wants to run them off.
Okay.
So, I think that's probably might as a skill. And I'm going to roll. I rolled a 7 with my might.
All right.
So what I'm going to say is there were a group of mercenaries that were attempting to regroup and come at the town. James stood strong, waved his sword, chased them away, ran them till they were well outside the town until they broke. However, nobody really saw him do it. So when he came back to town, he explained that he chased off a group of mercenaries and protected the town. There was a lot of eye rolling from people that were already inclined not necessarily to like him. And so they kind of thought, this is a man that likes to tell stories, not necessarily somebody that's actually doing something. So for that, I think that he probably got 1 prestige, which basically makes him 0 with the denizens, but not necessarily making any real headway.
Okay. Oxley, Morning Sun song.
Well, morning things are clearly the problem with what happened to weevils is that their crops just simply weren't good enough. Like they weren't planting the right kind of crops that could withstand something like weevils. So what morning's been doing is trying to introduce new kinds of of grain or wheat that they've devised themselves after careful experimentation. It's it's not caught on yet because there's a war going on and change is people react against change. But if you just use these new kinds of crops, it'll yield far more. It'll be far more resilient to any weaver infestation. So that means they don't have to rely on factions like the Marcus said for protection.
All right. Sounds like you're using cunning then.
Hell yeah. So I'll just make some die. Ooh, that was close. That was a 9. I think the denizens probably buy it a bit. Well, I say buy it as if Morning's tricking them. No, Morning's totally not tricking them. This is all legit. These are things that would stand up to Weevil attacks. It's just they have to grow first, so that's gonna take a while. So there will be results. They just you'll see it once you replace your crops. So I think I'm gonna take that additional 1 prestige, just a 1. Making my way to clawing back some sort of respectability amongst the denizens.
Okay. Oxley, did you want to do anything?
I think I forgot what the weevils are like. Are they like weevils how we would see them, like these little tiny things, or are they rather large compared to us?
I think we said last week it was like as they would be to us, so they are just like parasites. So.
Okay. I think everyone's mostly taken care of the various parts of the problem. So I think Oxy's just kind of sitting around, not really doing much. So.
Okay. So, with having done your parts to help out the clearing, what are you doing now? What is your plan for?
Who's in charge of this place now? Now that we've, dealt with the problem that the Marquisate was planning on capitalizing on, is this place just kind of, with the village chieftain, and no interference from the Irie at this point?
Yeah, it's still Zola is still in charge. There's still some people grumbling one way or the other that maybe it would be better to have protection from one of the factions, but the urgency of it is it's not as urgent now because you've dealt with the problem, the major problem they were facing.
Okay, so I call for a sort of like a group huddle with Morning Song, Jeem, and Oxley, and just put it forward. I say, I think we've dealt with the problem here. It looks like this place is pretty safe. Wasn't there work at the Marquisate? Weren't they still looking for some extra help there? Not that I want to be directly involved, but I wouldn't mind getting paid a bit more.
I think that is absolutely the case, and I would prefer to go to some place where I'm just not being stared at all the time.
No, do cats and lizards play along really well?
Not necessarily, but these people are odd.
What can you do with provincials? I mean, they couldn't even take care of something as silly as weevils. Come on.
Well, lucky we were here to take care of it.
Anyway, I wouldn't mind moving on. I had to give them all of my good stuff, and I would like to be able to replenish it anytime soon. I mean, then again, Marcus, it seems to have worked, and they didn't seem to have problems with myself. But that was us bringing a bounty. I don't know if the Marcus would take lightly to working with someone like me.
Well, I'd like to hear what Oxley has to say, but I'll just put this forward that if we do deal with the Marquisate, I would like to not be involved in that negotiation. I want to keep my head low and stay out of their sight as much as I can. But as I said, I wouldn't mind getting paid.
I'm not a fan of the Marquisate, but if they have work, then we need money. I'm willing to go along with something like that.
I think that they showed an ability and a willingness to pay.
That's true. We've made friends with some of them. Seem amenable. Maybe if we deal with like the exact same guards and exact same commander. I mean, look.
Or
long as
whoever we delivered the sword to.
Yeah, exactly.
They may be more amenable, certainly, after returning our prize or their prize to them.
We've proved ourselves a little bit, at least.
I agree.
Yeah, we're a well-oiled unit, the four of us, right? And I throw my arm around Bryn.
Yeah, I chuckle and say, "Well, so who's going to get us there?"
I think we've all walked there before.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Marquisate, have they have a temporary camp just outside of the clearing, which is where you talked to them last time.
Right. Yeah, I'm ready to go as soon as you guys are.
I'm ready to leave this town immediately.
Off we go.
All right. So you come to the camp again, and you're met by a different pair of guards, who also check inside, and one of them goes to check inside, comes out soon afterwards, and it says, the captain wants to see you. Follow me. And they lead you to a part of the, it's a sort of communal tent, but there are like sheets up to partition areas off. So you come to what looks like the captain's own office, for lack of a better word. And the Captain Tondrake, who you spoke to before, is there. There is also another cat with him, and this one, he's got a grey and brown a tabby coat, and he's got green eyes that have he's got green eyes, and he's got what you imagine is a constant smile, but it doesn't quite reach his eyes. So these are the vagabonds that you were telling me about, Captain. The captain doesn't look too pleased, and simply, yes, sir. Good. I heard that you're good at solving problems. Is that correct?
Absolutely. We solved a couple of problems for your Marquisate, right?
Yes, the results speak for themselves. I whisper from under my hood.
I guess it depends on the problem.
Oh, nothing. Well, it is problematic, but I'm sure it's nothing that will be of any trouble to the likes of you. We have a mining operation in the forest just northwest of Tonnery. It seems they have run into some trouble of late, and the Baron has asked that we have it looked into. Talk of strange goings on and people going missing. You know, superstitious claptrap. But the miners are refusing to work because of it, and the Baron wants to investigate it. I didn't want to waste our manpower on a ghost hunt. So I believe we would like to put your skills to use for this errand.
Well, it does seem like this task is certainly within our quite capable. We're quite capable of taking care of this task. It just seems that yes, an errand. Should we expect this errand to compensate us well?
We do need the mine back in operation, sooner the better. So it would be worth your while. He has another sack or two of coin.
Is there anything that we should be aware of that you haven't mentioned up until this point? Any other parties involved? Any threats that you may be aware of?
We don't believe there's any activity from the Ivory, if that's what you mean. It's probably just some local wildlife of some kind, spooking the locals.
How did they describe the spirits?
They said the earth was angry at them.
Is it?
The claims included the missing people in question being swallowed by the earth.
Sounds like superstitious claptrap.
Does this happen often around here?
I don't know that he would pay attention to that sort of thing. But, well, people have all sorts of strange superstitions. I'm new to this area, so I haven't heard of anything of this kind before.
Yes, well, most people here are terribly superstitious. I wouldn't hold it against you for not caring about what nonsense they believe in. However, it sounds like whatever's happening in the mine seems concrete. If it were the case that there are agents of the Erie working around there, and I think Morning's gonna hesitate a bit to push this, but they're gonna push it. Can we expect a little bit more compensation?
That sounds like you're trying to persuade.
Yeah, with my work stat, because they're being incredibly overbearing and obvious about this. All right. Oh, that is bad. That is a 4. No one wants to help now. I don't think people can help.
So is there a miss condition on that? Or is it just...
No, it is just the ball's in your court. Make a move as hard as you want. Key being as hard as you want. So it could be soft. Just saying.
Well, if you were to encounter the Irie at work, then we would, of course, expect you to deal with the problem.
I think there's a pause where Morning expects them to say more, and then they don't say more. So they just kind of like back away a bit and let everyone else do the talking.
I would like to go see these earth spirits.
So we have an agreement?
Yeah.
Good. You should get going as soon as possible. Thank you for your time. And he just turns around and, starts talking to the captain about, no, we have to attend to the matter at Black Paws Dam. And you're basically dismissed.
All right, let's go find these earth spirits and get things done as soon as possible.
Yes, I feel like they're keeping something from us.
Oh, most definitely.
I've seen many ghosts in my life, but never ones that were from the earth. I know, Morning, you may not feel that ghosts are real, but I have experience with such things.
Had those experiences come through some sort of stimulant or ingestation of various chemicals? Because as far as my experience goes with ghosts, it usually involves a binge or two.
Well, what other way would you have to see ghosts?
I don't
Opens your
know.
eyes to.
Mm-hmm. I think you'll find, Oxley, my eyes are incredibly open. And
Well,
I think
this could be an opportunity to put that argument to rest.
Please.
And get paid.
Well, the sooner we get this done, the better then. We'll settle all this nonsense about ghosts, and we'll scare up some miners to get back to work, and we'll get paid. And move on our merry way.
Yeah, speaking of which, we might want to speak to a few of those miners. Get the skinny. I have a feeling they might be more forthcoming than our employer.
Okay. Something I forgot to mention. So I made a couple of rolls before we started to see how the conflict is going on in the background, and you'll have heard rumors about about one of them, and you have just received a mission based on the other. So what has happened is in the Irie dynasty have made a move on a clearing that is to the north of where you are currently, called Black Paws Dam, and they've taken control there. And the Marquisate lost access to a valuable resource.
I'm guessing that's the mine.
Mm-hmm.
Can we tell if that mine they lost access to it to this supernatural entity or to the Irie?
So you're just hearing about it through these guys. So if you wanted to find out more, you would have to look for information yourself.
Yeah. Can we do that here in the camp? Or probably something we would do out in the field, I'm guessing.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Now hold off then.
Where's the mine at?
So it is northwest of Tonnery.
Cool. So it's like south of Milltown.
Yeah.
Do we happen to know what kind of mine it is?
So Morning Song might know something about this. I'm just going to ask Morning Song, what do you know about the ore that the Marquisette uses to power their technologies?
Ooh. I think. Let me just double check something. Because I think there is probably like something quite magical about it or something mysterious about it, but I think Morning has obviously, like, you know, it's all alchemical. It's all just these components come together. I think the one that they mine here to their mind is, I think it's, let's see, it's a nice kind of ore. For some reason, I'm thinking it's Skyrim ore for some reason now. It's this shiny dark green sort of metal. That's quite rare, but it's actually like quite easily manipulable. It's kind of like gold in that sense. When burnt, burns quite bright and quite fiercely. In fact, it burns for quite a while. I don't have a name for this ore at the moment. But yeah, it's this green sort of glassy metal that even like a pebble, you light on fire, it'll burn for like hours.
This is getting more and more interesting at all times.
I think Mornings explained this to the group with a long drawn out of why they think this particular metal burns this bright. It involves first they explain how geological drift works. They explain how pressure works. It's incredibly boring.
Or it could simply be the spirits.
Come on. People use spirits for just to explain what they can't understand. When anyone can understand this, there is no barriers other than your own tedious laziness. Come on, it's all there. Oh, out of character. Did Rob freeze for y'all?
Okay. So I did hear the last part of what you were saying, Leandro, about it burns sort of green light.
Yeah, it burns green light and it burns for quite a while. Like even like a pebble would burn for like hours.
Okay, so you guys know that this. Well, you can surmise that this is probably what they're mining at the mining facility.
All right. I think Morning's explaining. I mentioned this while you weren't here, Rob. But Morning was explaining to everyone how exactly this metal burns like that. It's on the record anyway. You can watch back. But yeah, I think after explaining that morning, it's like, all right, let's go tell these miners they're being scared about nothing and nobody in particular.
Okay.
If this stone is as flammable as you say it is, if I were a miner, I would be more afraid of a mining explosion than ghosts.
Ghosts are very flammable.
And you notice how?
I'll take your word for it.
Well, that's good to know, since we're about to meet some ghosts, apparently.
Okay, so how are you going about your journey there? You can see on the map where it is now. I'll actually share the screen. Chrome tab, Woodland. Don't kill my PC. Don't kill my PC. Okay, so you're in Milltown, or you're leaving Milltown, and the mine is northwest of Tonnery.
Mm-hmm.
So you could either cut through the forest, or you could take the path to Tonnery and then go from Tonnery into the forest.
Let's see what's in Tonnery.
Do we know if any of the miners come from Tonnery?
Probably it's the closest it's the closest clearing. So
Well, maybe we could.
most.
Sorry, maybe we could head to Tonnery and see if anybody there knows anything about the mine at all, and then head to the mine from there.
It looks to be Marcusate territory, which is fine because
we're working for the Marcusate. That's fine.
I think we should just march there the straightest way possible.
Oh, go straight to the mine, you say?
I'm very interested in seeing these ghosts.
The mine is going to be off-road anyway, right? We're going to end up going into those woods.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm okay either way.
Well, we would probably talk to the miners, but they'll probably just say a lot of claptrap. I mean, come on. What else could the miners tell us anyway?
They could tell us, do not light the rocks on fire.
If you need to know how that metal burns, I can just tell. Have you not been paying attention, G? Have you?
Yes.
Fair enough.
Well, if we won't get anything from the miners, then let's just head straight there, instead of bothering about with talking to people at Tonnery.
All right. So if you're all agreed on that, when you travel into the forest, the band collectively marks decay to represent how many resources they expend in travel and rolls.
We each mark one, and I think if we wanted to roll with an advantage, we spend more. Is that right?
Yeah.
When we got all that decay or gold from last week. And spend. Yeah, we got like 9 decay. Apparently, according to some of these notes.
9 decay after. Yeah.
Plus what you made from the helping out afterwards as well.
That's a lot.
I'll spend 2.
Did they actually give us money when we left, or did they just show us money?
I think he would give you. No, the guy's. So Colonel Vance is the name of the person you spoke to, and no, he's very much pay when the job is done attitude. So
Okay.
Yeah, so I think I think collectively we've spent at the moment, let's see, one each plus an extra one. Oxy just marked, and I'm willing to like use up one of that other decay just to make this roll good.
okay, so one of you roll with +2.
Who hasn't rolled yet? Oxy, you haven't rolled yet.
I'll roll.
Do you mind turning off that screen share?
Yeah. Okay.
That is a 12 plus 2. That's a 14.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So on 10 plus, you get there safely. So when you finally get to the mine, the location where the mine is, what you find is there's a camp set up with there are various tents scattered around. You can smell the wood smoke from the campfire, and just a little ways off from the campsite, you can see the wooden entrance, the adit into the hillside, which is the entry to the mine.
Is there anyone about?
Yes, there are people huddled around the campfire.
Despite our inclination not to speak to anyone, I'm going to do that. I want to approach those people by the campfire, and if they look like miners, I'm going to strike up a conversation with them.
Yeah, they all look like miners, and when you approach, they sort of jump up from the campfire and start brandishing pickaxes and stuff.
Yeah, I put up my paws to show them that I'm no harm, and I say, I'm no ghost, nothing to worry about. In fact, point back over my shoulder, I'm here with my companions here. We're all going to help you with the problem here at the mine. Could you give us a little more information about what's going on in there? I've heard they're ghosts, but that we're not inclined to believe that sort of nonsense. What's really going on here?
So one of the miners steps forward. It's a rabbit with sort of she's got dirty orange fur, which is slightly frayed, red eyes, and she says, "I'm Yasmin. I'm the foreperson here."
The forepaw?
Sure, let's go with that. Sure. Yes, I'm the forepaw here, and well, the folk have been saying all sorts of things. I haven't seen any myself, but we've lost some people, and people that saw it happen say that they were swallowed by the earth. I've looked at the areas. There's usually some disturbance in the soil,
Hmm. Who are the witnesses of this? Are they present?
Uh,
I'm just looking at the rest of this crowd gathered by the fire. See if anyone reacts.
it would be Howard and Mika.
Howard and Mika, are you present? Kind of look at the.
Sort of Fox and Badger put their hands up.
You saw your friends disappear, is that right?
Just something grabbed their foot and they just dragged them underground.
Something dragged them underground. That doesn't sound like a ghost. That sounds like someone or something tunneling in these mines. How big were these holes that they disappeared into? I imagine they were about this big, and I make a shape, kind of like a shape that would be enough for me to fit through.
Yeah, they nod.
How long ago did this happen?
The last one was Pinton. Disappeared the other day.
Well, it would be very brave of you. So this is up to you whether you decide to do it or not. But would you be willing to come with us at least as far as where your friends disappeared? Show us exactly where this happened. Maybe I should roll for this. I kind of want to convince them.
Yeah.
Persuade an NPC. Does that sound like what I need to do?
Yeah, probably.
Right, with charm. How charming am I? I don't think I'm very charming. We'll see. Yeah, I'm a -1. Oops, what happened there? I hit re-roll and the dice just disappeared. Has anyone seen dice there? All right, I'm just going to roll again. Oops.
What's the room name again? Because it's
Blessed Bobcat, Fairly Blessed Bobcat. You need it in chat? I can drop it in there for you.
okay. Fairly Blessed Bobcat.
Yeah, I'll throw in a link. Oops.
Yeah, because it's not letting me just type it in for some reason.
There you go. And I haven't rolled yet. I'll wait for you to let me know when you're in there.
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay. You should see a pair of blue dice at the bottom. I see the double sixes somebody else rolled.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and roll my silver dice. What the heck? No, that's not what I want. Hold up. That's a D8. Okay, there we go. That's a 7. 8 minus 1.
Okay. So a 7.
So what do I need to do to sway these two to come along?
You are gonna need to. I think they will show you the way, but you have to go first.
Sure, I can do that. I show them the way back. I show them to the rest of our group, or unless you all were there with me that entire time. I don't know. Either way, I bring them to you and I explain the situation. And they're willing to show us how to get there, but we I am going to have to strike out front.
Okay.
I am quite interested in seeing your ghosts.
I've
Yes,
seen many ghosts, and what you have described does not sound to me like ghosts.
Not at all. We'll get to the bottom of it one way or another.
Okay. Well, we have to go into the mine shaft.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to kind of step back from the spotlight and let someone else go ahead and deal with getting down there. But I'm up front with whoever is going to do this.
Anyone else going?
I'll step
go.
forward. I guess it depends. Is it a strength thing or is it an agility thing?
At the moment, it's just you're just checking out the area where the miners disappeared. So
I'll take a step back then. I'll let you take the lead,
All right.
since I think Oxley's seen ghosts before.
Okay. Yeah, I guess let's head in.
okay. So they tell you basically what turns to take as you lead the way. Taking points, so to speak. And eventually you get to a part of the mine shaft where you can see the earth has been disturbed. It's almost like a crater where they're pointing out their friend disappeared.
Can I check that out? I want to see how soft it is, if there's any way to push through it, or if it's fairly solid.
So give me a read a tense situation, I think.
Okay. That's an 11 plus the 12 plus 1. Okay, so I'm gonna ask, what's the biggest threat?
So
actually, first I'm gonna ask, what should be on the lookout for?
You should be on the lookout for something digging its way through the earth.
Okay. What's our best way in/out/through? Or let's just say, what's the best way out if something does come for us?
The best way out would probably be just to have somebody nearby that can help you help pull you out of its grip.
Okay.
I would be more than happy to do that for you.
And I guess, what is the biggest threat?
The biggest threat would be that you can hear something scratching in one of the walls.
Sounds to me like there's some sort of animal that's maybe digging these holes and stealing the people.
Right.
Maybe if we lure it out.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not whatever this thing is. Let's not fight it in its element.
Perhaps we could set some sort of trap for it.
Do either of these miners have a length of rope? Or is there a length of rope along any of these tunnels that we could borrow?
I think they would definitely have some rope. Some, if not near to hand, they definitely have some in supply. That they could...
Yeah, if they're okay with it, I'd like to take the rope and then suggest to the rest of the group that we tie the rope one to the other, so we're all kind of like connected, so that we could use that as sort of a trap. If this thing tries to grab one of us, they're basically going to pull all of us together. and then we can try to overwhelm this thing.
And if all four of us ends up inside of it, then we can all fight out together.
Right.
I asked the miner, were the miners doing anything in particular when they were attacked?
We were just digging like normal.
Were they all digging in usual spaces, using usual tools?
Yeah. I
Were
mean,
they
we did open into a new tunnel system recently.
And were all of the people taken from the new tunnel system?
Yeah, actually.
Are we in the new tunnel system?
Yeah.
Okay. So you opened a new tunnel system, and then people started disappearing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so there's clearly something here. I don't know if I'd agree to a plan that that one of the fail states is that we'll end up in this thing's gullet altogether.
Well, think of it this way. If one of us gets grabbed and we don't tie each other, we basically lose that person. That might be you.
That's true. That's true.
I think you denizens of the woodlands have had it really soft if the prospect of getting swallowed by a creature and fighting your way out of it is the worst thing that's ever happened to you.
I wouldn't say it's the worst, but it's up there. It's really up there.
Look, don't worry. We've got your hide. We've got your pelt. That's like, we got your back, but,
Yeah, I look at myself and I don't have a hide or a pelt, so.
You guys can deal with this now. We just head back outside if that's okay.
You sure you want to head back out by yourself? I mean, if something happens to you between here and back at the entrance, we won't be able to help you.
Well, maybe we can rectify that by getting this thing's attention and letting this poor forepaw out of the way because they didn't sign up for this life.
Oh no, that's not the forepaw. That's it's one of the two guys that
Well, yeah, it's up to you, but it's a dangerous path by yourselves, especially with us disturbing these things down here.
Okay, we'll stay here.
I think that's a wise choice. So the rope, are we in? By the way, Philip, you're frozen for me.
Oh dear.
Am I frozen for anybody else, or just?
Yeah, you're frozen.
We can hear you.
But we can hear you.
That's so weird.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Flashing a smile, if that's any consolation.
Yeah.
Could be worse. Could be worse then.
Okay, I feel like this might be roll for the rope thing. It's kind of a trick, I think.
I could jury rig this rope. I have a move called jury rig where you can create a makeshipt device on the fly. With
there we go.
And you're gonna make like this rope. It's gonna be like the best damn tied rope you'll ever see. So if one of us gets caught, everyone comes along. With cunning.
Could you turn it into a trap so that if anything tries to seize one of us, the rope ends up like a noose around them instead?
How does that even? How does? Okay.
Well, you create a noose at each interval between us with the rope, so that thing tries to grab us. person getting caught kind of throws it over top of their assailant.
I mean, we'll see what the thing is. We can even strangle it. Oh boy, that's a 6 anyway. So on a
Could I
6,
help out?
ooh,
Yeah, maybe we could help you to bump that up.
Let's see.
yeah, maybe it is that suggestion from Bryn, like, oh, you can turn it to a noose, and Warnings is like, okay, all right, okay, hold on. Noose. Just how does this? It's such a. I could be doing. I could just be. Fine. Noose it is. Yeah, so that bumps up to a 7. You have to mark exhaustion. Yes. To add a +1.
I need to do it?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So on a hit, yeah, you create a device that serves a purpose once and then breaks. So, yeah, you have one chance to try and get this noose on this thing should something grab us.
Okay. So I feel like this is probably going to be a roguish sort of activity.
Yeah, setting up the trap. This Oxley, this might be your moment.
Yeah, I guess since I instigated it, I'll roll for this. All right, and that's with finesse because I have two finesse, so that's an 11.
Okay. On the 10 plus, you pick one.
Let's see. Let's use up some resources in the attempt. Mark decay.
All right.
So I'm at 3 decay.
Okay, so so it's describe how this trap works.
Well, so I think I'm probably kind of pretending to mine. 'Cause it seems like whatever this thing is, it doesn't like that we're mining in this area. So I've maybe grabbed I'm just using my what do I have? My staff, and I'm just like banging it against the ground.
Okay.
To see if I can draw this thing out through this area that it's already come out from before.
I should probably made that a trick, but would it affect your roll if it was a trick?
That'd be with cunning.
Yep.
It would still be a 10 if it was the previous roll.
Okay. So, on a hit, they take the bait and do what you want, and you don't even have to mark the decay. So.
Okay.
So yeah, after a minute or two of you tapping your staff on the rock, you feel a paw, definitely a paw, grab your foot from underneath the earth and start pulling.
I think we should pull the other direction.
Yeah.
Let's pull it back.
Yep. I start pulling backwards, I guess, on the anchor. So I'll just start taking steps back just to make sure that he doesn't get dragged down.
All right. There isn't really anything that fits this except for trusting fate.
All right. So I trust fate. and I'm using my might without forethought or planning. So that allows me to use might for it. So I will see 2d6 submit 12.
Whew, okay.
We're
Sorry,
suffering from success syndrome like
sorry.
last session.
13. Sorry.
All right. So you pull with all your might, and instead of Oxley getting dragged down, you pull hard enough that the thing that is trying to drag everybody in pops out of the earth, and you get a look at it. So it seems to be a form of it, woodland creature that you've never encountered before. It's got like a long snout and sort of dark eyes, which are behind like goggles. Appears to be wearing some sort of military outfit, like just a sort of scout outfit. And has a sort of brown fur, wide amber eyes, and it's sort of like it just pauses when it sees that it's been exposed, basically, and is going to start, just turns to maybe dive back into the earth. What do you do?
I guess I put one arm on each side of the cave and lean back with all my weight and try to keep the fish on the line without breaking the rope. So
Okay.
Would that be a same roll again?
That I think is you're trying to trust fate again.
Okay. That was a which one was it? 12.
Yeah.
So 15.
All right. So you get this being on the hook, and you've got it caught, and it starts thrashing and yelling, "No, let me go, you surface dweller."
I don't know what you're doing in these tunnels, but your ground game is exposed, and you're no longer going to interfere with these mines.
These are our tunnels.
I'll get a better look. I thought you were a mouse at first, but I don't think I've ever run into anyone quite like you before.
I'm a mole. Rude person.
Well, we're just not accustomed to having tunnels invaded and having our people kidnapped. If that's rude, then perhaps your customs are a little bit different from ours. We're not.
You're the ones that invaded.
Does their uniform have any like markings that would seem like it's from a certain faction, or do we not know?
It has markings, but you don't recognize them as being either the Irie or the the marquisate.
Well, my name is Bryn, and I'm here to find a peaceful resolution to this. Do you speak for your people?
No, I'm just a scout.
Oh, we have something in common. I'm just a regular muskrat. Nothing special, just a traveler seeking their fortune in this world, caught between different powers. Well, our job is to clear these tunnels out, make sure that they're no longer in danger. Who can I speak with that can make decisions like, for example, withdrawing from these tunnels?
That'd probably be Erin. She's the commander.
Well, you wouldn't mind taking us to Agrin, right? I think Morning's peering very closely. I don't think they've ever seen a mole before.
Sure, just let me go and I'll go and arrange a meeting.
Wait, well, let you go.
Would you be willing to stay as our guest, and we could find some sort of common place to meet where no one would really be in trouble? We don't want to risk escalating this. Could you write a message for us to take to her or him? And we'll keep you safe. You'll be under no threat. And then we'll find peaceful resolution to this so that no one gets hurt. And if you are who you claim to be and you have some sort of territory, we'll respect your territory.
Roll to persuade an NPC.
Okay. Once again, my best stat, -1. Roll. 5 total.
Oh. So he's been kind of nervous, you know, visibly nervous this whole time. But you hear scritching and scratching from the walls around you, and he grins. Oh, maybe we can arrange for you to speak on our terms. And moles erupt from the earth wall around you, brandishing weapons.
Uh-oh.
My first instinct is to surrender.
Oh.
How many
Kind of like
moles?
looking around at the rest of us, and
Say about just over half a dozen, so about 7.
I think that this is a perfect opportunity for us to talk. And I go, good, we didn't have to travel down there. We just wanted to have a conversation with you.
Sure, yeah, that's what we were here for. Okay.
Who's our negotiator? I don't want to keep rolling -1, John.
I have +1.
You should go because I'm oblivious to societal norms and I will agree to crazy things.
Yeah, I think Warren kind of goes to Ox like, well, isn't this your expertise? You should talk to them.
All right. I'm gonna set my weapons down, just so they know that I'm not hostile. And I'm gonna say, listen, we're just here to talk. We don't have any ill intent, and if we can make a deal, that would be fantastic. I've set my weapons down. Maybe you can do the same. But yeah,
Persuade an NPC.
okay. 7, 8, 9 plus 1, that's a 10.
Okay. 10 plus. They see things your way, provided you give them a strong motive or reasonable bribe. I think you've put your weapon down, so that's. I think that's enough of a show of good faith that they're willing to listen. So.
I gave an expression to the rest of the team. Just maybe we should all do the same.
I stand up to take the slack off the rope, but it's still there.
Okay.
I open my mouth to protest that what I have is a tool, not a weapon. But given the situation, I'll put my hammer down.
Yeah, when you try to say you're not letting go of your tool, they're like, they point weapon, they point a sword at you, pointedly.
I'll roll my eyes at that and I'll put it down.
Yeah. Okay, so, and they are going to escort you to a neutral area where they can talk. I'm going to be right back. So we'll pick up again when I get back.
All right. I'm going to step away for a minute too.
Be back in like 5. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So Leandro's been in touch to say he's not feeling well, so he's gonna just drop out. To explain Morning's absence, the moles allowed Morning to escort the miners back outside.
Okay.
Well, they take you to their leader, essentially. So you're taken to a part of the tunnel system where things start to look a bit more shaped, like they've been carved, and it's more like a smooth tunnel, and there are pillars that have been carved in a very sort of stylized way, almost like structural supports. And there's like a table. One of the moles had gone ahead to basically inform their leader that you were meeting, and so she is waiting at this table. She's got a sort of salt and pepper fur coat, hard grey eyes, and she's wearing plate armor with a blue and yellow tabard on it.
Hello. And I turn to the party and I go, I don't think this is a ghost, unless things are very strange in your areas.
Definitely not a ghost.
I look at the creature and go, we were told that you were a ghost.
Would have preferred that you continue to think so, but it seems that the moles out of the burrow, so to speak.
Well, if you have a territorial dispute, staying incognito is not the best way to settle it.
There is no territorial dispute. These are our tunnels. They belong to us.
Well, there are other parties involved, so yes, there is a dispute. Not that I have any say in it or care one way or another. Our job was to secure those tunnels. That's what we were.
We are, of course, willing to be flexible.
Paid to do. Now, we could give you directions to another tunnel if you want to go there, and just leave this one alone, and we get paid, and we'll forget about this whole thing.
Perhaps I was not clear. We will not vacate these tunnels. These tunnels are our home.
But there are already people in them.
Yes, us.
No, before you, I mean, I'm looking at the workmanship here. Your workmanship does not extend into those mines. Those mines were already worked by someone else. So no, those aren't yours. Unless you're claiming everything below the surface is yours. That's a pretty bold claim.
These tunnels were carved by us.
So what you're saying is you are using these underground tunnels. The others came in and were mining above you, which you didn't have a problem with until they broke into the areas that you consider your traditional homes?
Correct.
I think that's pretty straightforward.
Well,
I think that the mine can move another direction.
yeah, so why don't we just work together to seal the barrier between the two tunnels with stone or some other material?
Actually, what I think that might actually work even better is clearly. By the way, what should I be calling you? And I look to the mole creatures.
We are the Great Underground Duchy.
And you and your role, are you the monarch of the duchy?
No, I am the commander of the battle group that is stationed here, taking care of these tunnels after our civilian population fled because
Strangers crashed their ceiling.
Exactly.
I think that you are uniquely suited to help each other. I think that you could tell the miners where to mine, and they can definitely avoid anything that you consider your homes. You probably know where miners just guess where things are for the most part. You probably know where things are.
Okay, make a persuade roll.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Let's see. 8 on the die. And I guess that's my charm or my cunning. So either way, it's 1. So it's 9.
Okay. I want some assurance that your miners will not speak of us. We want to be left alone.
First of all, I think that they aren't our miners. So what would your word be here? Stuck in the middle. But I think that that's fair. Oxley, Airy, these are more your people. Could that be worked?
I have an idea, unless you have something first.
No. Yeah, please do.
Seems that the moles, they want privacy, and they don't want people to know about them. But at the same time, we're trying to make a deal where they give information about where to dig. What if we convince the miners that they are indeed ghosts, but that we have made a deal with the ghosts to guide their mining? And so the moles can keep their privacy and just speak through the walls, claiming to be ghosts that are helpful.
I like that. I like ghosts. Commander. And I kind of do a weird toothy lizard smile and kind of lick my eyelid and go, would you want to be a ghost?
If it keeps us out of your surface conflict.
Are there any things that you desire, any kinds of provisions that you don't get easily down here?
I'm trying to think what might they not get. We have most of what we require down here.
Maybe even just more food. More food's always good.
That is agreeable.
If we can convince the miners that they give food as an offering to the ghosts, then maybe that'll keep them with this deal for longer, because they feel like they have a transaction with the ghosts. There's a reason for the ghosts to be helping them out rather than just altruistic ghosts, which seems unlikely to me.
It would make more sense to me too.
That is satisfactory.
Ari, is there anything that you want to add or think we need to?
I'm just kind of listening along and thinking these would be really good allies if we want to undermine literally any of the factions that we are working against at some later point. Maybe we can make a deal where we kind of have, this is like their neutral ground, right? Maybe we have a deal where only we can come here if we ever want to meet with them.
I think that our role as vagabonds, we could be helpful to them. We should probably continue the conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, I say to is it her?
Yeah.
I say to her, we could provide you with information on the happenings on the surface where your emissaries and scouts are unable to travel. I and my companions can do that for you to continue our relationship in the future. To ensure your anonymity, of course. Dealing with low levels like us is much more practical if you're trying to keep your cover rather than dealing with the Avery and the Marcusade and so on and so forth.
We do risk discovery in our excursions above ground to see what is going on. So perhaps you could be of use to us in that respect.
Mutual benefit. That's how I would like to think of it.
And you would do this out of the goodness of your heart?
Of course not. We do this for our money. Goods, services that you could provide uniquely from your, what was their thing called? The underground duchy.
Mhm.
Yeah, things that only the underground duchy could provide in exchange for things that only we can provide. I think that's fair.
Mhm.
I would be suspicious of anyone offering something purely out of the goodness of their heart in these times of war, at any rate.
Quite. Well, we would not mind dealing with independent contractors such as yourself.
Yes, and perhaps you have need of someone like us for any particular problems you may have now in the future. Not just the exchange of information.
How might we contact you in such an event?
As the ranger, this might be Oxley's call if there's a drop thing or something that you might have.
I'm the ranger, but Oxley
Sorry.
Oxley would be fine for this too. Oxley's a thief.
Yep.
Maybe there's a secret language that the thieves use. There's like feeding or something they could write on a tree, and we just kind of go and check it every once in a while.
Maybe there's some kind of underground like thief community, and they could pass the information along that way, and so everyone would hear it, but we'd have no idea what it actually meant except for us.
So someone would whisper it in your ear at some point.
Okay, so you basically would give them a password or something to drop in the right setting, and word will get back to Oxley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So you do a bit more negotiating, and I think eventually they're satisfied. Things were going pretty positive there. They don't feel the need to make you roll again. Mm-hmm. That just leaves what you're going to tell the Marquisate.
Mm-hmm. I think that we.
Go ahead.
I think we should lie to the Marquisate.
Yeah, some version of the story that we cooked up with the duchy just now about the ghosts. That they'll be amenable to. The ghosts will be the ghosts as long as they're given a portion of food as a votive offering, that they'll be appeased. And you can continue mining as long as you don't disturb the resting places of these spirits, which from time to time will make that known to you.
I would also think that at least the commander that gave us the mission will not be a believer in ghosts, so we could tell him that they're probably not ghosts, but they're pretending to be ghosts, and I think it's better for everybody that stays. We negotiated with them, and this is the terms.
I feel like that would be betraying our trust that we've...
Yeah. I gotta agree with that. I think that we probably want to keep, especially if we want to keep our special arrangement with them intact for getting work and jobs. We don't want to betray the fact that they're there at all, really.
Oh, no. So we should tell them we defeated the ghosts or we drove them out, or I think it would get back that there's still communication between them and somebody.
I think we need to convince them somehow that there are indeed ghosts.
Yeah, and we could even deliver it kind of skeptically, but we also have a solution, right? As long as they remain devoted to delivering these votive offerings, there won't be any further problem. Problem solved. And those tunnels that were, we can help seal those off, or we tell the miners what they need to do. They'll know that's their kind of work. That's their line of work. They can seal off the tunnels that were disturbing. There wouldn't be anything valuable in those tunnels anyway, because they're already excavated.
I think the thing that I'm worried about is that if the Marquisate doesn't believe that there's ghosts, then no matter what it is, they'll probably just send in. Their solution will most likely be force. I mean, just send in force to.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like this is going to be Oxley's moment again to convince the Marquisate of what we're kind of like trying to get across.
You did tell them that you have seen ghosts before.
That's true. And you were skeptical of ghosts. So if we all no longer seem skeptical, then maybe that'll be enough to convince them that people who didn't believe in ghosts have now just totally believe that they're there now.
We could still be skeptical about what ghosts are, but the existence of ghosts we could definitely say that we know they exist. We just don't know what they are. So.
Okay, so I want to make a scene of this where you've returned basically to the Marquisate camp, and you're escorted back to where Colonel Vance is continuing to make his home in Captain Tondrake's office. So is the matter dealt with? How did things go?
Mission accomplished.
I would not have believed it at first, but Oxley's made me a believer. There are things down there that should not be disturbed. Should
Whether
be
they be
respected.
ghosts or some other force.
They're definitely powerful and unknown.
I am no longer skeptical. Let's put it that way.
I agree with that sentiment.
In any case, we've managed to make a deal with these forces that as long as offerings are given and the miners do not intrude into the territory too much, the forces will give direction to the miners to help them out.
Yes. This is their resting place, after all. You don't want to disturb, sacred ground.
But they also respect miners and will direct the miners so their efforts can be more efficient and provide better resources for your war effort.
Okay, so I feel like you're trying to trick an NPC.
Sounds right.
Yep.
Oxley?
All right, here I go. On a roll.
Well, the question is, do we want to help?
Yeah, you guys could be helping with him.
So
Help is after the fact, though, isn't it?
Yeah, after rolling.
I'll roll and then see how it goes. I'm not sure what just happened.
Which dice are your color?
I did the
If you're
silver
green,
ones, but the green ones just appeared suddenly, and I didn't
I
roll
just saw
those.
a pair of 8s show up.
Oh.
Some dice over here too.
Let's-
There's a lot of dice here, actually. Wow.
Yeah,
wow, okay.
The green ones are mine. I moved them over to the side. The 2 4s were the ones that you just rolled, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I rolled this. I clicked on the silver ones and re-rolled those ones.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So I think
so
they
you got
rolled.
an 8. Yeah, they did. It says
Yeah.
last total 8. That's
Okay,
correct.
yeah. So that's
It's
an
the
8.
same
And then
total away.
cunning. That's a 9.
Okay.
So if someone helps out, we can get it to a 10.
I'll help out. I'll take a point of exhaustion. I'm basically reasserting that point that I'm, how skeptical I am, or how skeptical I was, and now I've been convinced by not only Oxley's accurate, assessment, but also I've seen things down there that should not be disturbed.
Okay. So the colonel is eyebrows, raised. You get the impression that he doesn't believe believe himself, but he believes that you believe something is down there. And you've said that the situation is dealt with in that the miners will be able to continue their work as long as they follow along with this silly ritual. So, well, as long as the miners are working again, I suppose that is satisfactory. I will give you your reward as promised. And he sort of grudgingly hands over the bags of coin. So that's about, say, 6 coin.
Okay.
Did we get anything from our negotiations with the moles?
Yeah,
So-
faction, increases, anything like that.
So if the faction existed within the quick start rules, you would get prestige with the Grand Underground Duchy, which I've just thrown in from the board game expansion.
Mm-hmm.
So that's if we were working with the expansion that's going to come out after the Kickstarter's fulfilled, yes, you'd basically have pool with them.
Yeah, we'll have to wait a year for that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Hopefully, will be worth the wait, though.
I feel like we've tapped the as much story as there is to have there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like prolonging things past the point where there's been a resolution. So I think we can just call it a day there and just go on to after session stuff. So advancement. Did anybody trigger their drives?
Yeah, so I have you advance whenever you free a group of denizens from oppression. I think helping out the moles, I think that counts.
Oh, I'll say yes to that. Yeah.
I've got one for justice. You advance when you pursue and achieve justice for someone deeply wronged by another powerful denizen. So I think working with the miners and the moles, I think, would fulfill that one.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 2 drives. I have the same one that Jeremiah has of free a group of denizens from oppression. So I would share in that. And I also have you advance whenever you finish investigating a ruin or encounter a new wonder in the forest. I feel like this underground duchy that we've uncovered and this neutral ground would count as that. Does that sound right?
Yep.
So that would give me 2 advancement, bringing me to a total of 3 for the last time included.
Okay. I don't think anybody wants to update their nature, drive, or connections. So that's all there is to deal with on that end. So let's have sort of epilogues for everybody, since this is our second and last session. So what do we see? I want a scene from each of you. You know what we see of you at the end of the episode, essentially. So, Jim, let's start with you.
Sure. At the end of the episode, you kind of zoom out. You see Gene with a little notebook, and he's drawing a picture of the moles. He's writing down more information about the factions that are there, describing all of the wonders that he continues to see, and then at the end you basically see, and tomorrow I will find more, and just some genuine excitement about being exposed to things that are completely new, and he goes into it wide-eyed and continue to explore the woodlands.
Okay, Oxley.
I think you see Oxley kind of in the future, moving around and interacting with various other thieves, just kind of secretive whispers and stuff, and gathering information about gathering information to give to the moles, as well as trying to find out more information about them. Since Oxley doesn't really trust any particular faction, he's kind of playing both sides if he can.
Okay, and Bryn.
Bryn, the last shot we have of Bryn is he returns to his home at Oakenhold, and with the earnings he has, he helps to outfit and equip a group of rebel muskrats that fight against the Marquisate there. And just as they are about to be vanquished, the muskrats are being driven back. The fortification of the Marquisate suddenly collapses in on itself as the moles that I paid a handsome share to tunnels underneath and destroys their garrison and turns the tide for us.
Nice. And that is the end of our 2 sessions of Root. Thanks for playing, guys. Let's before we sign off, let's do stars and wishes. Starting with Ari. Let's go the other way around.
First of all, kudos to you for GMing this. This is a new game. It's a quick start. You're working off of limited material here. You're filling in a lot of blank spaces that the final game is going to give you. So hats off to you for that. And hats off to both Philip and Jeremiah for playing very, we were all kind of on the same page. There was never any headbutting or anything like that. We all kind of worked together, came up with cool ideas, and then got each other's backs when we failed rolls, which didn't happen very often. We got a lot of successes, so that's great. But when we didn't do well, we were there for each other to kind of push each other over the line. So hats off to both of you for playing as great players and also role playing your characters wonderfully. I really enjoyed it. Wishes. I want the final game, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone else is kind of itching for that. I just upped my pledge. I was just doing the PDF, but now I'm like days before the thing ended, I bumped it up to the printed books, which I almost never do because I travel and I can't take too many books with me. But I really want this game. This is really great. So.
Yeah, I also never get the printed books, but the hardcover looks really nice. So I thought, okay, I'll get that this time. Jeremiah.
Yeah, I think everyone did a fantastic job. It was a lot of fun. My brain just broke. And yeah, come back to me. Sorry, like my train of thought just died.
Okay, Philip.
Sure. Thank you very much for running it. Thank you guys for playing it. It's definitely a lot of fun. I think as an interesting world, it's got tons of potential. And when you look back to, bunnies and burrows and stuff like that, role playing small fuzzy creatures have been around since day 2 of role playing. I guess for wishes, I think we missed an opportunity. If we're dealing with an animal kingdom, if you don't take the opportunity to take the sheet off the ghost and see 2 goats and then say, I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you kids, I think that's the only wish.
All right, Jeremiah.
Yeah, I think one of my wishes would have been that I think we were too competent. I mean, we just kept succeeding, and even when we failed, it didn't really go that bad. But I also think I just, even though this won't continue, I'm really excited to kind of imagine what would happen with the new factions and kind of the way they interact, especially the and it seems like that whole situation is very tenuous. Like I don't think the mine situation would last very long. So
what's the other faction besides the moles that is being introduced in the expansion? Was there a water or river faction?
So I'm not 100% familiar with the board game. I know basically I was coming up with this idea for the session, whereas like I wanna make it look like there's a haunting, but then do the Scooby-Doo thing essentially and say there's actually something else behind this. And I looked into the board game and saw, there's an underground faction. It's probably them trying to scare people off because they don't want to be discovered. Yeah. So I don't know all of the factions that are going to be available. I think there's a crow faction. Like there's.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that one.
There's the Corvid conspiracy, I think is what they're called. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Lizard cult, and river folk. A beaver or something. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Stars from me. Y'all were great. I enjoyed seeing you guys tackle that situation without resorting to violence, even though the system itself seems to be geared a lot towards combat. I was glad that it didn't go that way, and you basically fought your way out of it with a TH, not an F. And wishes. I want to see the full game. I want to see mechanics for the Woodland Rebellion, and the other factions from the expansion. I want to see what the prep, what the prep method for this game is. Like, are they going to use fronts, or are they going to use something new? It would also have been cool to see how because as I said, I made a roll before the session to see how the war was progressing. It would be cool in a long-term campaign to see how that changes the map and the situation over time. But yeah, I had a lot of fun running for you guys and just coming up with stuff just with what I've got in the PDF here. Yeah, so that was Root. We're going to call it there, and I'm probably not going to be running anything in November, but maybe I might do another session of Root or something else for December. Something sort of winter holiday themed. But for now, I'm going to sign off. See you later, people on YouTube.
Bye. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.